Good evening, and welcome to this breaking news live stream here in the WRIC Now live streaming studio. I'm Tanik Blair, the digital executive producer here at 8 News, and this evening we will be live streaming from the Virginia Union University. The Richmond Mayoral Forum is taking place, and I'll switch us over there now.
Is to listen intently.
At this point, introductions are still taking place, but very shortly I'm going to give it over to the full live feed. We will be streaming a large portion of the event, but we may not stream the entire event at this time.
Each candidate will have
but without further ado, I'll toss us over to the full live feed.
I ask that you wait until everyone has been introduced to clap. Tonight is broken into 5 sections with a few questions in each. This is a forum, not a debate, so there will be no rebuttals. Occasionally, I may ask a follow-up just for clarity. All questions, as Tyrone has mentioned, have been submitted by the community. We have done our best not to alter these, except for minor clarifications. No candidates have been provided these questions in advance. And lastly, we cannot hope to cover all things in this one forum. It is our hope that this is just the start of many conversations across the city and that you bear with us. So with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Andres Addison for introductions.
Good evening, everyone. I am Andres Addison. For the last 16 years, I've been showing up every day to make the city stronger, better, and more equitable for everyone. During my 8 years as an employee, my work combating the effects of poverty and building community wealth helped me turn an entry-level position into a nationally recognized leader in government innovation. During my 2 terms on council, I helped increase funding for RPS by $88 million. We built 4 new schools and increased average teacher pay by $15,000. We went from filling potholes to paving 80% of our streets. We went from fixing transit to now having one of the best bus rapid transit routes in the country and fare-free access for everyone. We now have a $1 billion operating budget and a AAA bond rating. Still, many say that Richmond is great despite itself, and as a broken city hall is often in the headlines for the wrong reasons and in the process and the way of change. We need a mayor with experience, vision, and a plan to make this city work for everybody. I'm running to be Richmond's next mayor to build on these successes and use my experience to make sure it works for everyone and everyone sees our future of the city, Thank you.
Good evening, friends. My name is Danny Abula. You all think it's hot now. Just wait till we get into this. No, Victor's been very clear. This is a forum, not a debate. I moved to Richmond to go to medical school in 2000, and I never left because I fell in love with the city. We decided to stay here for residency. My wife and I, in 2004, in real pursuit of Martin Luther King's beloved community, moved into the East End of Richmond to live in communities where people with different races and classes would live together and live together. And so we've done that for 20 years. My wife is taught at Chimborazo Elementary. We have 5 kids in our family, all of whom have gone to Richmond Public Schools. I served as the public health director here for many years. And during that time, as a pediatrician and public health director, working to improve the health of individuals and families and improve health and well-being for the city at large, I recognize that health is just one aspect of that well-being. That public health and well-being really is about economic investment, about safe communities, about beautiful park space, about the ability to get around a community even if you don't have access to a car. And so that's why I'm running for mayor, because I have the heart and desire to ensure that every resident of this community thrives and that we invest across all of those different domains to make Richmond the kind of place that we can all be proud of.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Mosley, and I'm running for mayor because I absolutely love our city. I love the people of Richmond. I'm excited about how far Richmond has grown from the arts, the culture, the history, the food, and the beverage scene. But I'm equally as excited about how far she can grow with us together. You did hear me say she. My priorities have been consistent. As a resident of Richmond, a Richmond business owner, a realtor who has sold homes throughout the Richmond metropolitan area, a former council representative, and president of council. Serving to help our justice-involved community reacclimate back into the community. Creating a Richmond that works for all of us, because that's what I do. So today, I ask that you listen to hear, and you hear to listen. And then you choose a leader who is experienced and proven effective that will work for you and work with you. I'm Michelle Mosby, and I'm running for mayor. And I'm asking you not to wait till November 5th, but September 20th. I'm asking you to cast your vote. Thank you.
Good evening, Richmond. I'm Maurice Devin, and I'm here to ignite a new era for our great city. From the foundation of criminology and criminal justice from the great BUU, I bring a deep understanding of the challenges we face. But more importantly, I bring solutions rooted in accountability, transparency, and community empowerment. Imagine a Richmond where safety is paramount. Education is a world class, and every citizen's voice is heard. Together, we can make this vision a reality. Let's transform Richmond into a beacon of collective care and happiness. I'm here to make the vision a reality. And with you, we will make one Richmond, one choice, and one transparent city for our progression. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Virginia Union for hosting us this evening and the Urban League and the other sponsors of tonight's get-together. Thank you very much. My name is Harrison Rodet, and I am so excited for the race for mayor this year. We have such a clear choice in front of us. We should be looking for a mayor who can earn the trust of Richmond residents to move Richmond forward with the change that we need. And I hope to earn that trust. I grew up in Henrico County, and my first job was right here in Richmond, working for Senator Tim Kaine, who shows us that listening is the foundation of public service. I spent many years in the private sector helping lead large organizations, working collaboratively with thousands of people to generate change. And in the last 5 years, I've been focused on investing in our community here in Richmond, partnering with small business owners to level the playing field for access to capital, because opportunity is what matters for our residents. I look forward to this campaign season and earning the trust of people here, and I look forward to the chance to earn your support as we make Richmond a city that works for everyone. Thank you.
Once again, thank you all. As we move on to questions, I want to remind there will be 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer each question. If you look down in the middle, Tyrone's waving his hand. He will give you some timer prompts. Don't want to shut you off, but no, I'm joking. So we will be starting with education. The first question we have is, and this will start off with you, Harrison. We'll alternate with each question who starts off. How can the mayor work more effectively and efficiently with Richmond Public School Board to invest in early childhood education?
That's a great question, fantastic question, arguably the question of the next 10 years for Richmond. As you all know, we have an elected school board. The mayor's job is to be a champion for the public school system. Let's start with a values statement. Every child born in Richmond should have access to a high-quality public education, and that starts with pre-K. And while we are fortunate to have Head Start programs and the Virginia Preschool Initiative here in Richmond, we are not serving all of the students that we could be. We need to improve that. If we don't get students in our system prior to kindergarten, we start to lose ground where we need to be gaining ground and building the foundation. I've had the good fortune of spending time with students, teachers, and principals and school board members across Richmond, and the feedback that they get is exactly to Vic's question. The collaboration and the vision, the working together across not just the mayor's office and school board, but also city council, is not where it needs to be. So let's start with some simple goals. We should want our students to succeed. We should want our teachers to feel empowered, not overtaxed and overworked. And we should want all of our schools to have the autonomy they need to deliver the best they can for our students. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson.
I will prioritize increasing funding for Richmond Public Schools to ensure that our students have access to quality education. This includes allocating resources for much needed infrastructure improvements, updating technology in classrooms, and providing adequate supplies for both teachers, students, and everyone involved in our children's growth. We must invest in our schools and invest in our future. Our administration will focus on teachers' retention and recruitment. We're working to increase teachers' salaries to competitive salaries around the counties, to implement a robust mentorship program for new educators, and provide ongoing professional development opportunities by supporting our teachers. We support our students. I'm committed to expand early childhood education programs across Richmond. We'll work to increase access to high-quality pre-K programs, particularly in underserved areas in our city. Early intervention is key to closing and crossing the achievement gap and setting our youngest residents on the path to success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Early childhood education is extremely important, and we know this because we know that the data shows that there are good prisons for our young people if they can't read. And so I will continue to do what I have done. Continue to work with our school board electeds. As president of council, I brought our school board, our administration, and the council together so that we could discuss budgetary priorities. We could discuss community priorities so that we could build schools. We could put money in the budget so that, as the mayor, to put the money there in the budget and council to agree to keep the money in the budget because that's the process. But having the discussion with the school board allows for it to get to early childhood education. Because let's be clear, the school board is the director of where the money should end up. And so we must make sure that we're building relationships, that we're supporting our school board electeds, that we're not walking in a dictatorship type of a thought process, because that's not going to get us where we're trying to go. We want cooperation, not confrontation. And so I've been able to work with our school board representatives, and all 9 of them say there's a great working relationship. And if the new ones come along, I'm committed to making that relationship as strong as if they have been there, because I understand the need for our young people to excel. And so I will work and be committed to ensuring that they excel with funding and accountability. Thank you so much.
This one is deeply personal for me. As I shared, my wife is an elementary school teacher at Shiraz Elementary at Kidsball. On to Shiraz Elementary, I see my wife year after year, trying to manage more complex student groups because of the way that our society is starting to really unravel. That's particularly true post-COVID. I think we are all in agreement about what the goals are to really build a world-class school system, to invest in technology, to invest in infrastructure, to invest in people and staff to be able to equip teachers to do the best job that they can. And the question is, how do we do that? And I think the next mayor of the city has to not only reach across relationally to city council, build bridges with those city council members, but also with school board members, right? The relationship between the mayor and school board is extraordinarily important so that they know that they have the city's support. That the mayor will advocate for optimal funding year in, year out in the city's budget, and that they will go across the street to the General Assembly to advocate for more funding for our Richmond City schools. I think the other piece of this is thinking about what's happening on the ground in schools. We have a lot of other great city services that are kind of adjuncts to the same population, parks and rec, social services, libraries. There's a huge need for coordination and integration of existing quality services to surround schools and to surround students and give them the best opportunity possible.
So, as a child, I grew up with a single mother, and she worked as a waitress and worked a part-time job when she could. And she would make sure that I was dropped off and she worked at night as a waitress at the church nearby. And that church had a nursery. And I was young kids my age where I learned how to read, letters, colors, things that made me understand more about what it means to go to school. We all learned. And that opportunity, that partnership prepared me to be a dinner that next year. For me, that's what we need to do as a city. Find partnerships we need across our community. Because right now, we don't have spaces to put after-school programs or even our pre-K education learning in every neighborhood. We need to make sure every child in every neighborhood has access to a walkable or within a few bus stops from their house to get the education I had programs today. And for me, the job there is to make sure we have those relationships. We have that understanding of what is the challenge facing kindergarten teachers, what's the gap they're seeing with their children. It's sounds, it's hearing conversations, it's listening to people talk, it's learning different words and opportunities to evangelize. And for me, that's the job of Negro. It's not just only funding, it's also building relationships across our community. Churches, nonprofit organizations, all the things that make this opportunity happen in our community is what we need to focus on. For me, that's what we got to focus on when we build those spaces to bring those opportunities to every child and every family. The last thing is, we need to invest in engaging our families to know that this is available. A lot of them don't see it until it's already maybe too late. And that's not good enough for me. As mayor, I'll make sure we prioritize that funding and relationships with them. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is for you, Ms. Mosby. Will you commit to fully funding schools? And if so, what plan do you offer?
Well, as a council representative, president of council, we funded schools. This last budget, 2024 budget, the schools received 52% of the general fund budget. I believe they asked for 249, received 239. I'm all in to funding our schools. I'm all in to working with our school board electeds. I'm all in to ensuring that our children are educated and elevated. The goal is to not just fully fund, but continue the relationships so that we are expanding early childhood education, so that we are looking deeply at career tech education and how the funding can help support career tech education, that we're looking together to see how we can make sure that dual enrollment is an actual for our young people who are on college track. So it's not just the commitment to fully fund, but it's the commitment to keep the conversation going so that education and elevation is indeed the goal for our young people.
Thank you. Mr. Wu? Yep.
So absolutely. I mean, I think all of us are in full agreement that without strong schools, our cities are really struggle to move forward, right? We hear the story over and over of how families move to the city, kids get to school age, families move out of the city. That's true for families who have the privilege to do that. Not all of our families do, right? We have to invest in schools to make sure that every child has the opportunity to learn, to thrive, and then to have a choice about where they want to live, whether it's Richmond or Atlanta or New York City. So I will say that I'm absolutely committed to fully funding schools, but I would say beyond that, there's so many issues that we have faced in trying to pull down more money, trying to take advantage of federal money because we don't have the systems in place, grant writing, procurement, the basic functions that allow us to take advantage of federal funding. So there's a lot of systemic work that we need to do in both City Hall and school administrations to be able to do that.
So this goes to be 100%. The last 12 years of budgets trying to fund schools. And I think to us, we've done the best we can with the resources we have. But now it's time to look to the future. Currently, if you own a home and it's that's moved to RBS. Your taxes are probably $4,000 to $5,000 on average. Cost of going to school is $22,000. That gap is made up by the rest of our budget. And for us, the only way we're going to sustain that is looking at the future. The future we build together. Because to me, we need to fund our schools and support neighborhood inclusion, what we do together. But for me, the fact that we need to look towards how we fund schools comes to understanding what they truly need. And for me, what I think we need to focus on with the funding of schools is those wraparound services, after-school programs, arts, culture, music, athletics, making sure every child has the same access to the same amenities I had growing up in Northwest Virginia. And for me, it's a big investment. But it's also to make sure we take that burden away from us, the taxpaying homeowners, residents of the city, and really move that forward to where we want to see growth coming. As a city, we need to understand how we create value. Our revenue strategy focuses on growth. Because while we invest a lot in our schools, more is needed. I'm not sure it's necessarily just in the schools, in the classroom. We also need to support that time at home, after school, on the weekends, during the summer, and provide safe, reliable, healthy, and positive interactions for every child to grow without. As mayor, I'll make that one of my number one priorities in my budget.
Thank you. And you guys are getting the hang of this. Our next question.
Do you want to
finish? Oh, go.
Thank you. First of all, easy yes. We, of course, have to fully fund the Richmond public school system. Let's talk about a huge opportunity that was missed this year to do just that. A bill went through the General Assembly allowing cities like ours to increase revenue for schools. Governor Youngkin vetoed that bill. So we need a mayor who's going to tell the administration, yes, we need resources from for our schools from our local tax base. We also need your support in the General Assembly and the Executive Mansion, because without that support, we're not going to have the funds that we need on a year-to-year basis, not just to fund the operations of the schools, but I visited a school in Southside that is essentially a brand new school, and it's only 4 years old. Its roof already needs to be replaced and repaired. I mean, we have very substantial capital outlays that are needed, and we need more funding to do all those things. And yes, that's going to come from local tax revenue, but we need partnership from the state in order to continue to make sure we have the resources we need so that every child, all 20 to 22,000 students in our school system, can go through with a quality public education. Thank you.
Yes, I do look to fully fund schools in RPS. I've attended over 10 schools in RPS, with me in individual that was awards to the state, experiencing different quality within those school systems. Now, first to have a fully funded, but more so equitable across the board, allotment of funds from each school in the city of Richmond. With that, I believe we will give our children a start and give them a push for success. Without that, we will have no way to ensure they will be successful with a disproportionate amount of funds when it comes to our RPS students. So I do look to have that, and I do look to collaborate across the seats within our government, and also I do look to create innovative ways that we as a community can draw funds for our RPS schools instead of waiting for a handout. We're going to make happen for ourselves, with each other, as one Richmond, under our RPS umbrella, and we will make sure that our students will be successful going forward.
Thank you. Our next question is, how will you work to attract and retain talented individuals and educators with Richmond Public School Board? For you, Danny.
I think it all starts with culture. Obviously, there's a lot of competition for talent in the education space. Teachers have the ability to kind of go to the place where they're going to feel the most supported. And some of that is paid, but some of it is the leadership in the schools. And so I think, as I would do in City Hall as the mayor, I would certainly expect the school board and superintendent to really prioritize quality principles, making sure that they are setting the tone for culture. I think there's also a lot of things that the city can do in partnership with the school system to ensure the schools have the resources to do that. Right? I think the VCU's Richmond teacher residencies have great example of a program where kids will come, they will make a commitment to teach at Richmond Public Schools, they will pay for some of their education. What we see too often is that those Richmond teacher residents may not even fulfill their full commitment. They get so frustrated because of the environment or they're not feeling supported, and so they leave beforehand. So I think as a city, we really need to focus on helping build culture and create environments in schools that allows programs like the RTR to be successful. We also need to build even more bridges to our HBCUs, to Virginia Union, Virginia State, to build the pipeline so that we have teachers who look like the kids who are in our Richmond Public Schools, and so that they can see themselves in the role models in that classroom.
I think for me, when I look at RPS, I see its maturation. We've invested in it as much as we can for our budgets today. And I think we need to continue to invest in the people that are the heroes of our schools. And that's teachers. We've overburdened all of our teachers with all the tasks of every neighborhood and community that supports them. And with that expectation, it's hard to deliver the expectation of what they need to do in the classroom. Countless friends of mine have teachers in RPS and have left because the culture, the work, the expectation of what they're supposed to do, it's just too much to handle. And while we focus on investing in making sure our pay is competitive and making sure our benefits are in line with the rest of the region, it's only a matter of time if we don't change the culture that will continue. And then we're bringing on another teacher, trying to help show them what we're supposed to do. It's from the top down. And for me, one of the things I feel is needed is the partnerships and the community involvement in each school. I represent a school that's one of the best in the city because of all the communities and partnerships with the parents that are involved in that school every day. And those parents feel the benefits of it. They provide resources to the classroom and everything else. The challenge is it's not the same just a mile away. And for me, we need to find a way to create an equitable balance across the resources needed for every classroom, not just those that have it, but those who also need the same exact thing. And for me, that's the feeling I think teachers want to see in their support for what they do every day. It's making sure that they're not burdened with having to make sure every student has the same resources. And make sure that they're able to grow and teach together. For me, as mayor, one of the things I want to make sure we do is collaborate. With universities, we bring maybe teaching aids and other resources to the classroom to support those teachers to meet the demands of the modern classroom. Thank you.
I think every single one of us can point to an amazing teacher that has made a wonderful difference in our lives. And every person here can do that. And that's the magic of great teachers. And it is very disappointing to meet with leaders and principals and teachers at RPS and hear about how many challenges they face day in and day out. Having to do more with less, having opportunities that might sound good, like putting more time in the classroom for kids, but not accounting for the burden that creates for teachers, creating more burnout and turnover. I think the only way we can solve this is in a change in approach. And I think it has to be one that centers our students and teachers and says, what can we do to give everyone the greatest chance of success? Whether it's being in a facility that is modern, whether it's having a central office that supports the day-to-day tasks, not adds more and more to the plates of teachers without giving them the resources to do what they need to get done, and having a spirit of collaboration, not just in the mayor's office and in the city council, but across within the school board and our out-of-school time organizations, so that everyone is moving in the same direction together. Thank you.
I believe as mayor, it's a responsibility that we lead by example, but also allow individuals to have a voice. Our teachers need to have opportunity to express their concerns without worrying about backlash or having issues in their classrooms and in their schools. That's one thing sure we have to rig. We have to make sure we have transparency so that we can bring ease to our teachers, so that they can bring ease for our children, and ultimately, that will make a successful environment for our school system. Without that, I don't see where teachers will want to stay. They have to look over their back because they have to whisper. That's not how it should be. So as mayor, I do look to make sure we have protections in place for the teachers. I want to make sure that we have policies written that increases the parents' participation in PTAs. We have to get the parents involved. The teachers
support them in supporting our teachers. I will be a listening ear. I will be out in the community, making sure that we have churches, mentors, the Divine Nine. I'm calling everybody because we need everybody to help with our young people. And so with that being said, the goal is to ensure that our teachers' lives are not as complicated, as hard in a school setting. So how do we do that? By not bringing the confrontation between council and school board and the mayor, but working with one another so that we can have one goal, and that is to educate, elevate, and help our teachers do that and not be social workers, not be all of the things that they're having to be. If we go in and we are confrontation, then it is only going to make it harder for your teachers. We have to learn to support and do it a different way.
Thank you. Our next question. How will you work with RPS to encourage and inspire the youth in our city to not only achieve in the classroom, but in our communities? What plans or initiatives do you have in mind?
One of the best things I think we can do as a city is to truly support after-school activities in every elementary, middle, and high school. Music, plays, being creative, taking things apart, putting things back together, learning. Maybe even failing and learn how to do it better next time. It's those experiences outside the classroom that truly create a whole well-rounded student. And if we do that citywide, we can provide opportunities to see beyond maybe what they see at home or the neighborhood they call home. And to me, those opportunities come from how we can elevate that opportunity to see a future beyond high school. For me, one of the biggest things I think we can do is elevate the current pathway scholarship and convert it into a promise scholarship. What that does is that every high school 9th grader or 10th grader fills out a pathway, shows they're committed to do something post high school graduation. I want every high school graduate to feel that they have a plan to enter the workforce. And whether that be opening a business, finishing an associate's research, going to get a trade skill labor opportunity to get certified in the construction projects or other things we have going around the city. Or maybe go to a four-year college. They're knowing exactly what they're going for. But here's the best part. They're going to have the financial support, the encouragement of our teachers, our guidance counselors, and community. And that they're going to make sure they feel there's not a financial burden on them meeting ends and making ends meet as a student because they can afford to work and go to school at the same time. They'll pick one or the other. And for me, every child has the same opportunity for that, and I think it's a great promise scholarship for every student.
If you spend time with our young people, as I think many of you do, you're just struck by the amount of promise that every single person has. And I think in the nature of this question is an opportunity for all of us to expand how we think about this. You know, we can't just confine opportunities for children to learn to a window that is 6 or 7 hours a day in one building. We have to focus, and we also have to focus not just on what students are able to do on their own time, but how we engage families. Over and over, we hear feedback that we need more engagement from not just students themselves, but the folks around them. And the exciting thing about that is we are surrounded by a wonderful community that wants the best for our students. So I truly believe if we put our minds to it, we can create opportunities, yes, for after school time, yes, for after high school opportunities for apprenticeships. We can do those things. But I think more broadly, we can build a culture that says our students truly can be anything that they want to be. And make that something that's not just something that's about our school system, but make it something that's about our whole community. Thank you.
Quality of education is crucial for our city's future. I push for increased funding to ensure our teachers are well paid and have the resources they need. But by expanding the STEM programs, arts education, and vocational training, we will prepare our students for a diverse career in our society. I also plan to foster partnerships with local businesses and universities to provide mentorship and internship opportunities as well. Bridging the gap between education and employment
No problem.
All right, folks, that's about all the time we have tonight for this live stream. If you'd like to continue watching, I believe another live stream is available at the Urban League of Greater Richmond's Young Professionals Facebook page. And to find out more about this story, please tune in at 11, where our reporter Alexis Bellamy will be giving a full recap of the Mayoral Forum. Thank you again for tuning in to this 8 News live stream. Have a wonderful evening.